Hello and welcome back to Outward Bound UAE's series of short videos to help keep you entertained while you're stuck indoors. Today we're going to be looking at how to pack your rucksack for when you're going out on an expedition.
For this part, we've moved inside and we've laid out everything that I would have in this bag, with the heavy stuff and the things that we don't use as much at this end, and the things that we're going to use throughout the day at the other end. So to pack, we're going to take the tent, one of the heaviest things. Feel free to palm this off on some of your friends as well. You don't have to carry the whole tent yourself, you can carry parts of it. Maybe someone else can carry the poles, make it a bit nicer. The next thing we have is our first aid kit. Now this one goes in next in my bag, because at the bottom I have a flap just here, a zip. So if I need to get to that first aid kit in a hurry, I can zip it open and get it out real quick. The next stuff that's going to go in, these are the things that we don't use as much. So throughout the day, we're probably not going to need our sleeping bag, and we're probably not going to need our sleeping bag. So this one, we can just shove in, crush it down like that. In the UAE, it's probably not going to rain, but on the odd chance it does, we always take a waterproof jacket. We can shove that in as well. Right down the sides. The next part, we always take 2 litres of water with us when we go out on expeditions. These ones, they want to be accessible, you want to be able to get to them, have some drinks throughout the day, so they go on top. The next parts that we're going to put in, very, very, very important part, we have our toilet bag. All this has in it, toilet roll, a lighter to burn it after you're done, and some hand sanitizer to keep you fresh. The next thing I'm going to take is this bag of spare clothes. Things that I'm taking, spare socks, spare underwear, because it's always good to stay fresh. All of this goes inside my dry bag, so that if it does rain, all of this stuff stays dry. Okay. That's it for the main part of our bag. We're going to do this up, and we're going to move on to the top part of the bag. Now in here are the things that we're going to be using throughout the day, but on the inside part, I'm going to put the things that I don't use as much. So, sunscreen is going to go into there. The bowl and the spoon is going to go into that part as well. And I've also got this. This has got my head torch in it, and it's got a repair kit in it too, so little bits of cord and things that I might need to fix a bag or a tent or a sleeping bag while we're out in the hills. And all of that sits inside this middle part, zipped up. In the top, we have one more compartment. This bit is going to be for the things that I want on hand all the time as I'm walking. Camera to capture the sights. I've got my phone and a charging pack, just in case I want to give my mum a call while I'm out in the hills. I have my compass in there as well. I've got a spare torch, and all of my snacks I'm going to eat throughout the day, I need them on hand. They're going to go in the top part. Okay. The last couple of things I've got with me, I've got my mat. I'm going to carry that with me all the time. Hat and sunglasses. These are going to help keep the sun off throughout the day. And with the mat, this one, I usually keep it just under my arm, so that when I'm walking, it sits just there, and it's there if I need it. That's all from Outward Bound UAE. Have a good time in the hills, and ma salama.